Game 3. So tonight, the Boston Bruins, these guys here, will be playing in Carolina. And this is the biggest game of the year for Carolina. And I know we say that with every game, that every game is the biggest game of the year for said team, because it's true. Now, in round 1, Boston lost game 3. In round 2, Boston lost game 3. Boston went down 2-1 against both Toronto and Columbus in these playoffs, so they forced themselves into a pretty rough position. They're trying to avoid that this time with Carolina by winning a game 3 rather than risking losing both in Carolina and leaving themselves with the best 2 out of 3 situation. Whereas Carolina, they should feel pretty good about going home, because game 3 of round 1 against Washington, they won. They were down 2-0 in that series. Round 2, they were up 2-0 and still won when they went home for game 3. So 0-2 in game 3, 2-0 in game 3. Carolina wins game 3. It's not really how it works, is it? Anyways, game 1 was a 5-2 win for Boston. Game 2 was a 6-2 win for Boston, and I've heard a lot of complaints. So let's look at the just numbers. The shots combined for both games were 54-53 for Carolina. So the idea that Boston somehow blown their doors off is actually incorrect. Carolina's played pretty well evenly with them for the 5-on-5 times of the game. Hits, Boston's actually out-hit Carolina 60-54. So Carolina's hitting was dominant at points in both games, but Boston has actually out-hit them. And Boston seems to be working some mind games in this series. We'll see how that goes tonight in Carolina. Power plays. This is where everybody gets all snippy. Carolina's power play is 1 for 7. Very nearly a shorthanded goal for Boston in one of these recent games. And Boston's power play is 4 for 7. So, when I hear, the referees are giving it to Boston. No, Boston's just capitalizing on their power plays. Unless there's a referee doing something during the power plays to make sure Carolina can't stop the puck. This right here is your series so far. Carolina can't be pitching about, 1 for every 7, so a 14% power play, and allowing more than 50% of the power plays that they try to kill off to go in. That's a formula that means defeat every single time. Blocked shots, 21-17 in favor of Boston, so that's not too different. And giveaways are the same. 18 for Carolina, 18 for Boston. It is this number right here. It is special teams that are doing to Carolina in this round what really they should have done to Carolina in rounds 1 and 2. Almost did in round 1, but of course game 7 went Carolina's way. Now, when we look at the scoring leaders, Marchand leads the way in scoring with 5 goals and 10 assists for Boston. Coyle, 6 goals, 6 assists. Pastrnak, 6 goals, 6 assists. Krejci, 4 goals and 8 assists. Torrey Krug has a goal and 10 assists, and Bergeron has 6 goals and 4 assists to round things out for Boston. Also worthy of mentioning, Johansson's been fantastic. Danton Heinen appears to be getting his scoring going, and there's a lot of reasons to be nervous if you're Carolina right now, because there's a lot of weapons that Boston has that are playing pretty well. On the Carolina side, Sebastian Aho, 5 goals, 6 assists. Slavin, 11 assists. Teravainen with 7 goals and 3 assists. Continuing. Sorry, cat issue. So Teravainen, 7 goals, 3 assists. Stahl, 4 goals, 6 assists. Fogel, 5 goals and 4 assists. Williams, 4 goals, 3 assists. And Dougie Hamilton with 3 goals and 4 assists. Goaltenders, and this is where things may really change tonight. Tuukka Rask is 10-5 in these playoffs. 2.02 goals against, .937 save percentage. He's been fantastic. Carolina has to change that. But Mrazek is likely not playing tonight. He is now 5-5 with a 2.73 goals against and an .894 save percentage. So all the goodwill, all the good fortune in the first 2 rounds, forgotten now, and it'll be likely McElhinney in net. He is 3-0 in these playoffs with 1.56 goals against, .947 save percentage. Personally, again, and I'm saying this again, I would have played McElhinney after the way that he closed out the series against the Islanders to start this series, but Rod Brind'Amour has coached more out of the Carolina Hurricanes than any of us imagined he might this year. So he had his reasons for staying with Mrazek as long as he did, and now we'll see whether or not McElhinney can help turn things around. Carolina is not a stranger to coming back from 2-0 down from this year and from previous years in this organization's history. So for Boston, the key thing is do not take them lightly. Do not let up on them. And more importantly, make sure that power play is as lethal as possible. Because what happens is if this power play is lethal, it cuts down on the amount of hits from Carolina. Then they're afraid of taking a penalty. They start playing afraid. And for Boston, who's already playing some mind games with Carolina as it is during these games, that can increase that. That can increase that aspect of the game and really accelerate an potential end to this series. But tonight is the game. Tonight's the big one. Boston wins this, the series is basically over. If Carolina wins it, we have ourselves a series. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.